channel. You know what time it is, no press fam. Welcome everyone to another episode of Beatdown, the segment where we take multitudes of characters from across many universes and have them battle it out. I am your gracious host, Class. And if you enjoy our content, you know what you can do. You can share, you can like, you can subscribe, and become a No Press fan member. We put out new episodes every week. Well, at least we try. Also, if you want to learn about origins or abilities, check out our playlist titled Brief Origins and BAF. With introduction said, let's get down to the beating. In honor of the Thunderbolts movie coming out in theaters, we figured, hey, you know what? Why not do an episode on these characters? So I will be representing today Thunderbolts and the Suicide Squad. Alright, so we do things a little differently when it comes to team matches because there's a lot of characters, so we would be in a long haul having to explain each and every one of their abilities and having them fight and then have to each one individually. So we're just going to be basing on certain flexes these characters have, and then we're going to tell you how which and one character's team would win and then the other. Let's start off with the Thunderbolts team's credibility. So let's start off with Red Guardian, was credited in WW2 for helping the Soviet Union win superiority over the skies as he shot down a significant amount of aircrafts during his time. The Winter Soldier at one point was able to defeat Daredevil, who's considered one of the best fighters in Marvel Comics. Ghost, known for being an Iron Man villain. Yelena, hopefully I'm saying that right, Belova, aka White Widow, she broke every record Natasha made during her time in the Red Room, making her the next Widow. John Walker, aka US Agent or the other Captain America, defeated Spider-Woman and almost put her out of commission. Spider-Woman is not easy to defeat. Taskmaster, in a crossover event, he managed to copy Batman's fighting style. That's crazy. Alright, now let's talk about the DC Suicide Squad. Bloodsport defeated Superman in old school comics. Peacemaker was tasked in retrieving talons to join the Suicide Squad from prison. Hopefully I said that name right. King Shark, the son of a Hawaiian god. Ratcatcher defeated Batman in their first encounter. Polka Dot Man was able to outrun for a time Batman and Robin using his dots to fly to create fires, discharge, and even portals, and he could even fly with them. Harley Quinn, she defeated Manos with Infinity Rings. Yeah, it's apparently a parody of Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, she defeated Manos. That's crazy. Alright, now that we got everybody's flex, let's talk about who would win in what fight. So let's talk about how the Thunderbolts would win against the Suicide Squad. So let's start off with who would I pick to, go against who, because obviously you can't just put the whole team together. Somebody's going to fight somebody. So I'm going to say Yelena, White Widow versus Harley Quinn, US Agent versus Peacemaker, Ghost versus Polka Dot Man, Red Guardian versus Ratcatcher, the Winter Soldier versus King Shark, Taskmaster versus Bloodsport. So let's start off with the first, which happens to be Yelena, or aka White Widow versus Harley Quinn. This fight might be a stalemate, as both possess incredible fighting skills. However, the White Widow has way better gadgets, and that should be enough to say during a fight Harley might catch a stun to the face or a wrist instantly cuffed to a wall. Either case, the element of surprise favors Yelena, aka White Widow, more. Have her join forces with US Agent, and Harley Quinn is done for. US Agent versus Peacemaker. Peacemaker would give US Agent a run for his money, but given he was given the super soldier serum, he has the fighting edge against Peacemaker. Weapons might slow him down, but close up, it's Walker's time to shine. That's US Agent, or the other Captain America's name. Get only one more set of hands and Peacemaker for sure has no chance to win this. So if Harley Quinn or US Agent are available, they can 2-on-1 either one of those guys, or those two, Peacemaker or Yelena or White Widow. Sorry, or Harley Quinn. I'm sorry if I'm mixing it up. Ghost versus Polka Dot Man. Ghost can phase through any of the dots thrown, as she needs an opening to get close enough and then ultimately knock him out with no issues, as he's not much of a fighter. Maybe assist the other team after that. So she could probably go help the other team defeat Peacemaker and Harley Quinn. So yeah. Now Red Guardian versus Ratcatcher. He could most likely endure the rats enough to toss something solid at Ratcatcher, and with that distraction run up and then snap his neck like a twig, or her neck, whichever one. You could either interpret the comic character, because apparently, this fun fact, the female character is a made-up character that wasn't even in the comics. So she's a made-up character in the movie, so they don't have her in the comics. I'm not sure if that has changed. Maybe after the movie they put her in a comic. We'll see. Any more trouble than that and wait on Ghost to assist taking Ratcatcher down. Let's see. Winter Soldier versus King Shark. Winter Soldier might have the moves to put down King Shark. Not to end him or match him in strength, but enough to hold his own and possibly deliver a move for KO. He might even have the gadget to restrain King Shark. Keep him maybe busy enough until reinforcement arrives. Taskmaster versus Bloodsport. Taskmaster can copy moves from other people. Now, with Bloodsport, he can create a challenge as he relies on his impressive weapons to do his dirty work. But learning how he moves helps Taskmaster avoid moves or find ways to counteract it. If the fight gets to a close-up, Taskmaster could take Bloodsport to school, as he's not known for special fighting styles, keeping him on his toes long enough for the others to aid in her or to take him down once and for all. Him or her. I mean, there's the male Taskmaster, and I think there's a female Taskmaster in the comics as well. So it's now that we already talked about the Thunderbolts, let's talk about how the Suicide Squad would defeat the Thunderbolts. Ratcatcher versus White Widow. Call upon an army of rats and surprise her with a sucker punch for a KO, or keep the rats coming to keep her overwhelmed. Ratcatcher doesn't run out of rats often, leaving White Widow in trouble, or at least busy enough for Polka Dot Man to assist in securing the win against her. Polka Dot Man versus Taskmaster. You can't replicate his polka dot abilities. Therefore, Taskmaster would be in some serious trouble. Polka Dot Man can use these, and gunfire or explosions pop out 4 hands at once at Taskmaster. The possibilities are endless, making this fight impossible for Taskmaster to win, allowing Polka Dot Man to assist with the others. Now let's talk about King Shark versus Red Guardian. King Shark is clearly much stronger, and even if he used his comic or live action counterpart to claim otherwise, King Shark has proven in film and in comics not to be messed with. He will overpower Red Guardian and then send him falling towards the ground. He can even eat the guy's body parts during their encounter, making him in berserker mode, and that rage could help and come in handy with the others in his team, which means that if he goes into berserker mode, that means he just goes after every other characters from the Thunderbolt team, and yeah, it's going to be impossible to put him down, especially with his team helping him. Yeah, he's going to probably eat the Thunderbolts for dinner. Alright, now Bloodsport versus Winter Soldier. In comic versions, the New 52, he would actually take Winter Soldier to school. His weapons pop out of thin air. You can't compete with that. Winter Soldier has his own selection of toys, but if they get off his person or run out of juice, that's it. Where Bloodsport has weapons that beam to him in seconds. That endless of arsons weaponry should be the only point needed to be made when it comes to how this would end. But let's go for a live action as well. He still had this crazy gadget hidden everywhere on his body that could put some trouble into Bucky, and if he is really that good at aiming, he might be able to take a shot that puts the metal arm man down. Wait on assist. Either way, he's good. He's got this one in the bag. Alright, Peacemaker versus US Agent. His helmet does have built-in tech into it, allowing him to use perhaps tactical strategies during a fight. He might not have the flashiest weapons, but he makes up with that being a great hand-to-hand fighter. He has that to do whatever it takes mindset. US Agent has that as well, which makes him that more dangerous. Not to mention, his costume does serve a purpose in the comics, as I believe it is bulletproof at times. He might not defeat him solo, but enough to keep him on his toes for someone to assist Peacemaker, no problem. Harley Quinn versus Ghost. Harley is crazy, and crazy can be a tool in itself, as it does have unpredictability in how to deal with such a threat. Ghost can phase through most of hits, of course, but if Ghost wants to put her down, a hit must be made on the body and flesh contact, which means phasing has to stop so a punch can be made. A moment like that is something Harley can take advantage of easily and then get Ghost off guard with a thunderous blow, leaving Quinn a chance to help the others as well. But as always, no press fam, it's not up to me, it's up to you guys. So if you liked either one of my arguments, you can hashtag the Thunderbolts or you can hashtag the Suicide Squad. And as always, no press fam, we really appreciate you guys keeping it 800 subs. Peace.